Cheers, everybody. Hi. Some of you in chat are saying it's early in the morning. I imagine some of you it's late at night. It's late at night for me. It's almost midnight here in Southern California and Easy Allies land. Let me know if everything sounds okay, looks okay. Yeah, lots of emotions, lots of thoughts, and I was getting to think about them, and we had a big conversation after the stream, and I was like, okay, I can't wait for Cup of Jones next Tuesday. Then we can talk about all of this stuff. And then I was like, well, there's two problems with that. One, I got to wait until next Tuesday to have that conversation with all of you. And number two, that's going to be patron exclusive. And this thing that we just did, was everybody. I mean, I feel, we had patrons coming in, supporting us. We had our wonderful people here on Twitch, our amazing community. And we had people. I kind of feel people that were on the periphery of Easy Allies. I imagine there's a lot of people in our community that are involved with us, that support us, but don't necessarily feel the need or the cause or might feel uncomfortable with speaking up and getting involved. I imagine there's a lot of our fans that aren't, for many reasons, necessarily big fans of Patreon. So we can do all the plugging we want of sending people there to try to get us up, just a couple more thousand to get to that studio goal. Is this Eddie Phoenix? Is this my first Cup of Jones? Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a Cup of Jones pitch. This is Cup of Jones. This is what it is. It's this angle. It's me with this cup, sitting here chatting about stuff. This is free for all of you for everything that we've done tonight. And yeah, part of this is just me being emotional and wanting to say thank you. But we gotta talk. I mean, this was insane. What happened tonight? Without a doubt, this was the second most important day in the history of this thing. The company is the first word that came to my head, but it's really so much more than that. And as this keeps going, the definition of it keeps changing, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Is we set a goal at about $10,600 to pick up a very specific set of equipment that was the most cost-effective, and $10,000 is not something to sneeze at, but it was the most cost-effective look at what we could do to start to get back to the flavor, start to get back to the feel of what we used to have at Game Trailers. The setups that we used to have that enabled things like GT Live, that enabled GT Time to be the type of podcast it was, how it was shot. There's nothing I can do about this garage. This is a building that was built in the 50s. I live in Southern California, and some of the houses here are very new. Some of them are very old. We did do a remodel on the house, but we didn't really do a heck of a lot to this room. And I'm amazed that this sucker has still held together. And thank you everybody to for the support that we got tonight, whether you donated or just watched. A hearty thank you to all of you before I get into this. But we went like 3 times past that, almost. And so I just want everybody to expect a bit of a pause when it comes to us trying to sort out what the next step is. Because, while it'd be really great to do a supermarket sweep for us to just go straight to, B&H and Best Buy tomorrow and just start throwing everything in the cart, this is a big step. This is a really big evening, and I think it warrants a measured, cautious, educated, careful, patient response. And so, first and foremost, it's going to take us a little while to actually collect this money. We've got to figure out taxes. I mean, this was a big surplus of revenue that came in. And so we need to address what we initially did. Ian was throwing some ideas out and some equipment. We were thinking of even more things. I mentioned briefly that it'd be nice to get an electrician in here. The lovely Lightning sits in the back there in front of a closet that has 2 shelves that are about to collapse. So it'd be nice to maybe get like a closet manufacturer to come out and get something. So it's like whenever we need something back in that closet, I'm like, I'll get it, because I got to take this box out and then this box out and then this box out and then get the thing we need and then put that box in and then put the next box on top of that. And so I'm looking at this room in a whole new light. I'm looking at Easy Allies in a whole new light. So I think we got the gratefulness part of this evening out communicating that. But what I don't think was communicated, and what all of you need to understand, is how important this was to really the potential of what we can do with this. Yeah, Huber and Ben are going to the optometrist, so it's just like, what more could you ask for? We got to hold him to that. And I think one of the other things too is that I think might be frustrating to people is, here we are. I believe we settled. I haven't even looked at it, but I believe we settled in around 42,000, which is always give or take, because we're getting closer to the end of the month on Patreon, which is wonderful, and that means we can make some goals happen. We're shooting a God of War spoiler mode tomorrow, so that's very exciting, and we'll be getting that up, and then doing at least one episode in May, and if we stay at that goal, one episode each month for the foreseeable future. But that puts us about $8,000 away from our ultimate goal of getting a studio. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, wait a minute, the equipment's great, but if 8,000 times 3, that's 3 months of rent, in a studio. Why don't we just get the studio now? And the big difference between the fundraiser that we did today and our Patreon is the Patreon represents a continual revenue that is what we base our business on. And so we get that money in on Patreon every month. We know we can pay those bills. We know we can pay that salary, to each of the allies for the effort that they've put in. We know that we can slowly budget out for things like E3 coverage, the concert that we put on last month, Easy Livin', which is coming up in August, which I'm very much looking forward to putting the final plans on there. And if there's anything as far as like the way a traditional business runs, when you look at if we were to sell widgets, how many widgets did we sell? How much money did we come in? And then what can we do with that money? Where this was just a crazy surplus we had not imagined. And so even if we were to get a studio, even if we were to say goodbye to this garage and go do that, it'd be on borrowed money. It would be not something that we could guarantee would be coming in on a monthly basis. And so that's still what that goal represents. That 50K is still there. It is still something that we have not yet attained. And considering the incredible financial support we got tonight, I am a little nervous that people might be frustrated by that, by looking at that goal and saying, come on, we're clearly there. Clearly this was the extra push over the cliff that we needed. What this represents to me is the beginning of a new phase of this company, which is so exciting to think about, where we're able to create some shows we've never been able to do before, cover things in a way we've never been able to do before, and obviously we can make things look and sound better, but I think it's so much more than that. It's a more pride in the stuff that we produce, a better understanding of us actually meeting the potential of what we can do, and kind of the shrugging off of this attitude of this being an independent production. It's yes, we are independent. We're not owned by a company. Yes, we do shoot this in my garage. Yes, we did lose our jobs at Game Trailers and started something new at Easy Allies. And so I think there was this understanding amongst us. I think a fun understanding with our community. There's so much going on in chat. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. That we kind of gave ourselves an allowance when tech didn't work, when scheduling didn't work, when we might have made a few promises that we did not necessarily keep. Me just completely, screwing up the release schedule for the Souls retrospective, among many other things. And I think it's safe for us to, and we've said as much when that stream ended, to expect more pretty much out of everything. Expecting more out of us, expecting more out of the content that we produce, expecting more out of technically how everything operates. And not only on a level of, getting some pretty baubles and placing them on the tree, but just kind of like cutting that tree down, planting a new tree, and kind of wiping the slate clean and looking at this whole enterprise from the ground up. And I wanted to make sure that all of you understood how big that is for me, for us, for Amanda, for Sophie, for anybody that is in any way involved in this enterprise. This is quite an incredible thing. If I can get a little bit personal, if you will allow me. I know some people are like, I got to go to work, but don't get gassed though. What does don't get gassed mean? Don't get tired? I couldn't get tired. This is getting way too much fun. I founded GameTrailers.com back in 2002. sold it to Viacom in 2005, and then very quickly transitioned into getting the editorial team together and producing a lot of crazy new shows. And I definitely got a feeling of it just kind of like took off, and I grabbed hold as hard as I could and rode that and had a jolly time doing it. And I don't want any of you to think that with us getting more money or with us moving in a direction that seems similar to game trailers, that this is history repeating itself, or that anyway this feels like that used to. This doesn't feel anything like game trailers. This is a completely new thing. And I feel that when I worked on game trailers before, there were a lot of people that came in, John Slusser, Jeff Keighley, Shane Satterfield, Brad Winters, that had a very strong business mind. Jeff Groats, the wonderful gentleman that I co-founded Game Trailers with, that just were a lot more business savvy than I was. And I think all of them are still more business savvy really than any of the allies. We are essentially, content producers, musicians, actors, singers, artists, comedians, writers, and our art really comes before everything else. And so the slack that we needed to fill the extra support, that extra push that we needed in order to make this happen, happened because of you. And you meaning everybody. Even if you're just watching this, you are contributing. Even if you just watch our shows, even if you just follow us on social media, even if there's just one thing that you like about Easy Allies that you check out, that you return to on a regular basis. I've seen a lot of sentiment lately where people are like, I used to be really involved in Easy Allies. Now I just watch the podcast. Now I just watch Frame Trap. I just watch their reviews. That's really all I do. And those people have different expectations for us depending on the type of content that they enjoy. And this has so fundamentally changed everything about what we do that I think it would be a disservice to ourselves, and it would be a disservice to our community and the games biz to really approach this based on the experience that we've had before. I think we really need to look ahead at this and think, what now? What next? What is the next phase? And so we asked a lot today, and we got even more than we asked for. That can really be said of any day of Easy Allies in operation. And I just need one more favor, and that is just a little bit of patience as we try to figure out what the hell's going on. Because we kind of had a vision, like we really had an idea of like, okay, we get that 10K, even if we just, let's say we hit 3K, that'll be really great. Then that means we budgeted the 5,000 for that new camera. We can put in, 2,000 of what we've already saved. We can save that extra 3,000, maybe put that towards Easy Living or something else. And then we know we got the outlets, we know we got the power, we know we got the knowledge of these cameras. Ian has really been doing a lot of research on this stuff. And we know we can make that work. I know we can make these assets work. I know we can take the money that we earn today and we can do something special with it. But it's so important, I think, at this phase. It feels like March 21st, 2016. It feels like the day we started today. It really feels like the next chapter. So we don't have to get into the mushy stuff. I mean, if we really want to drag this out, I can cry. If you want me to, I can cry, allies, if you would really like that. But we don't really need to get into that. I just want to, and we'll talk about this again on Cup of Jones. If you become a $1 patron on Easy Allies, Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, you can join me for Cup of Jones. But if not, we'll throw this up on YouTube. If you're just like bailing, if you're like, Jones, I'm so tired, go to bed. You can revisit this soon on YouTube. I suppose I should just wrap things up by saying you will hear from us on a regular basis. I mean, Ian and I were talking about, of course, we'll do another Easy Update, video where we unbox all of this fun stuff and talk about the equipment and what that means. But it will be a learning process, and all of that. We need feedback from you. So when we do get new equipment and implement it before E3, obviously E3 is going to be a big coming out party for a lot of this stuff. Our coverage is going to be very different, but we want to slowly roll this stuff out. We're looking forward to Huber Syndrome looking better. We're looking forward to the podcast looking better. We're looking forward to when we can start implementing these things, into our live streams. But that feedback is going to be invaluable because we can't be where you are. We can't really be on the outside looking in and really analyzing every little bit of the type of content that we produce. So as we invest and as we introduce this new technology and these new assets that we have, we want to hear what works and we want to hear what doesn't. And we hope that you'll be patient with us in the process of making this stuff work, because it's one thing to operate a camera. It's one thing to hook in fancy stuff that does a lot of the work for you. It's another thing to understand what that adds to what this is, how that benefits Easy Allies, and what's the best way to implement that moving forward. So we might stumble a little bit. We might experiment with some things that don't work out. This could be changing the Patreon. This could be changing Twitch. This could be changing a lot of our goals moving forward. Bloodworth and I had a bunch of ideas that we were writing scripts for promos, and we just like crumpled them all up and threw them in the trash. It was like, all right, we got to completely rethink those videos, all those promos, because you all just moved the needle in a really big, crazy way. We feel like rock stars. I mean, this is incredible, the type of support that we get. So Easy A 3.0 starts right now. Dark Knight, you're crazy, man. How the checks you were writing tonight. Jones starts crying right now. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up. I along with you and the rest of the allies all deserve a good night's rest, even though I know some of you are just waking up. Some of you are probably right in the middle of a workday right now. But the only sadness that I feel, the only trepidation, the only worry is that how do I communicate to all of you the impact of today? How do I demonstrate how incredible this is, that here I am alone in this garage, supported by hundreds and thousands of people with an interest to really make something special, and to keep that going and to keep this as a persistence thing. It's when I first started in this business, it was all about size. It was all about numbers. And in a lot of ways, that's the case. It's like we hit 150K on YouTube. That's great. Really want to hit that 200K. That'll open a lot of doors for us. Obviously, we want more of an outreach on social media. Obviously, we want to hit that 50K. But this is really just a mind-boggling thing. I have a lot of friends that are in entertainment at a lot of levels. I have friends writing TV shows. I have friends working in film. I have actor friends that have just exploded their career in leaps and bounds, and I'm so proud of them and I'm so happy for them. But like that jealousy, that the FOMO, that desire to think that like, yeah, but what else? Yeah, but what's the next step? You have all but eroded that for me. I really feel so fortunate, so lucky, so privileged to have been given the opportunity that all of you have given us. I felt that before I got up this morning, and now it's just bonkers. And so, how do I express that to you? How do I communicate that in a way that justifies that matches the level of support that all of you showed for us tonight? It really is something incredible. So. There it is. Here come the waterworks. Just slowly starting to creep up. Time to end the show. Cheers, everybody. It was a heck of a day. And like I said, we're going to be making videos. We'll be updating you on Patreon with more information as we get this stuff. Of course, out of obligation to all the support we got. But oh boy, is it going to be fun. It's really going to be great to start making big lists of stuff that we can do. So it was a treat, not only to jump back here on the live stream, but just open up twitch.tv/EasyAllies and see all of you talking about what a crazy, crazy, crazy evening that we just had. And don't worry, I still have plenty of other musicals for you to watch. There's plenty. There's Bye Bye Birdie. There's Our Town. There's the fun never ends. And E3, it's coming. So I love you all. Love and respect. You love us and respect us very clearly, and we owe you the absolute best. And I hope we deliver, and I hope you'll be around for it. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day or evening. Get some rest, and you'll hear from us soon.